Let's talk about working with a realtor as a renter in the Georgia market. Let's get it, y'all. This is The Real and Real Estate, and we're starting now. Remember, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, share, and do not forget to hit that notification bell so you can be alerted when we upload new videos on this channel. All right, so let's talk about working with a realtor as a renter in the Georgia market. If you guys don't know, I uploaded another video on my YouTube channel, and I believe it's called Qualifications for Renters when it comes to renting in the Georgia market, or renting in the Georgia market qualifications. Go check that out, or renting in the Atlanta market. I believe it's under one of those titles, but I don't have that many videos on this channel, but you can scroll down, and I believe I made that video in 2022. So rents might have fluctuated either up or down since then, because as you guys know, we are currently living in a certain market where rents are kind of fluctuating upwards. However, in some areas they're kind of going down because things are sitting a little longer, and people are basically getting together with family and friends, becoming roommates, maybe seeing a place somewhere else online that someone's looking to just rent out a room. So people are trying to basically save money in some way, in some form. So a lot of people are kind of going in the way as far as like trying to live together right now, which I totally understand, because you want to be able to save money. Everybody wants to save money. I want to save money. You want to save money. We all want to save money. So I understand. The purpose of me making this video is because with me working with renters, there are different things that have come into place in the state of Georgia. If you guys don't know, the state of Georgia, when it comes to renting, realtors do not make that much money. So I'm not sure if you guys have seen any videos on YouTube in regards to how the rental situation kind of goes in Georgia, but I'll talk about it and I'll break everything down, and I'll tell you what most realtors are doing nowadays. Some of them may or may not be doing it, but I actually do it myself, and that is just to make sure, as a realtor, utilizing my time and my professionalism, that I get paid in some way or some form. Let's talk about what usually happens, and it's probably happening in other states as well. We all know that you can rent in several ways, right? You can rent apartments, or you can rent single family houses, all right? So when it comes to renting apartments, usually you go to an apartment complex, you'll see a leasing agent on site. They will do up all the paperwork, and usually that leasing agent works for a management company, or they're overseeing it due to an owner. So the owner hires the property management company. The property management company comes to the complex, then they oversee the complex, and you as a person, you'll ride through complexes, you'll go into the main office, leasing office, and you will sit down with that particular manager or leasing agent or whoever's over said property, and you will fill out application with them and process everything that way. Or they might have you go online on their website and fill stuff online out as well, and then you get into the apartment complex, you go through a resident tenant portal, you pay bills, blah blah. So that's how that kind of works. And if I'm forgetting some stuff, you guys can put it down in the comments how it works where you are currently renting if you're in an apartment complex, because I don't remember everything. So please put it down in the comments, and you can help other people out as well. When it comes to renting a single family house, this is how it usually works. So you have different ways of working, right? You have either somebody might be renting their own house out and not utilizing maybe a management company, or maybe not utilizing a realtor or any type of broker, a brokerage, which the brokerage is where the realtor comes from, right? So if you're renting it out by yourself, people do that as well. I always tell people, be very careful and make sure you do your due diligence when looking for someone that's renting that. If you're renting someone else's property out, just make sure you look at public records, taxes, get the right information, make sure that person owns said property that you can rent out. Because sometimes, or not sometimes, unfortunately, there are a lot of scammers out here nowadays, and they are actually finding properties, reposting them on Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, all these places, and they're reducing the rent price, and sometimes they're actually keeping it at the same rent price as well, and they're getting people, unfortunately, to send them over money and paying to move in. So just make sure you do your due diligence when it comes to looking to possibly renting from like a private landlord or somebody that owns that property, just to make sure everything is right, because you don't want to go there. Let's say you move in and you pay the money, you think you own said property, then it ends up turning out you don't, then you get kicked out and you lose your money, or you just don't want to lose your money up front where you just pay somebody something and they never give you the property, right? All right, so you have that way of renting, and that is in every state as well. You can rent that way in every state as far as that private landlord or that owner of the house. The other way you have where management companies, you have where basically management companies will oversee a property. So a management company will go on the listing. Let's say they might list it on Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, these places, maybe Apartments.com. All these particular places they might list the said property, and it'll connect you to a management company if you call the number, and that management company will have their own leasing agents that will take care of everything for you. However, you also have another way, which is a brokerage over said listing for a owner to rent. So the owner hires a brokerage or a realtor that works within the brokerage, and then they will put the property on the MLS, and the MLS will then in turn send it out to the other third-party websites like the Zillow, the Trulia, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff, that'll all come in regards to the MLS system, and the realtor putting that information and that data in the MLS system. It will then populate in those other platforms. And so you have those three ways. If I forgot any way, you guys remember, any information I might not cover in this video, just put it below in the comments so you can help somebody else out as well. But those ways, so you have a rent by owner, you have a management company putting out there, or you'll have a brokerage which the realtor is listing underneath the brokerage for said owner of the property. All right. So I got my little notes here, you guys, so because I always want to make sure I stay on track. So you have, that's the three forms of possible renting, and then like I said before, you can also go to apartment complexes and rent that way as well. All right. So now when it comes to how it works as a realtor. Sorry, I'm looking down. I just want to make sure I covered everything in that one. Okay, so when it comes to how it works when a realtor is listing the property, all right? So if you're the owner of the property and you decide to use a realtor to list said property, you, the owner, will traditionally pay that listing agent, or you could say the leasing agent over said property. You would usually pay them the first month of the rent. So if you decide to list your property at, say, $2,100 a month or $1,800 a month, you will then in turn pay the realtor that first month rent. However, what ends up happening, which most people don't realize, is that when the listing agent or the leasing agent over said property that's listing it for the owner, they then have to split said commission in some way, in some form, to a buyer's agent or a tenant agent. So basically, that is the person who brings the tenant or the prospect to that property for possible renting. So what happens in the state of Georgia, and I'm not sure if it happens in other states, currently I am in the state of Georgia, but what happens in the state of Georgia is that, let's say the listing agent is receiving $2,100 because that's how much the owner wants to rent it out for the first month rent. They might then decide, like, okay, how am I going to split up this rent? I mean, this commission to the buying agent or the tenant agent bringing the tenant. Am I going to give them 10%? Am I going to give them a flat fee? Am I going to give them 15%, 50%? Am I going to also, some places might, depend on the agent, they might actually just give you the whole first month of the rent commission as well. But it varies in the state of Georgia. Particularly, a lot of rentals down here don't pay much. So, and that's where it kind of, so that's on the part of a realtor over said property. So the realtors over said property, they get that first month rent from the owner of the property, like I said, and then in turn what they do is they split the commission in some form or some fashion, or they can also give you a flat fee. So they can be like, okay, this is $2,100, I'm only going to pay the buying agent or the tenant agent $200 of that. All right. And so let's go on to the management company, and then I'm gonna tell you guys about also the commission from the as a buying agent going over there as well. So when it comes to management companies already have a set fee. So being that it's a management company, they already have the property. The owner went to them. They put the property underneath the management company. The management company is listing it because they are able to list as a on the real estate side. They have some type of real estate license or something going on where they can actually list, or they have realtors or agents that are working for them underneath of them, and they're listing it. Usually, typically down here in the state of Georgia, most management companies will only give you about 10% of the commission. You'll get some that are nice enough to give you 15%. And or you might, every now and then you might get lucky, run into a few that might give you half. But typically what I've ran into down here is that most of the fees when it comes to management companies like Excalibur Homes, Invitation Homes, Sullivan Homes, these different companies that are down here that kind of populate a lot of the area, they're given a small commission amount. And so that's how that kind of works. So over that, so you have the management company over it. They might have leasing agents in there. They put that into our MLS system, and then they give you a small percentage. Excalibur Homes only gives you 10%. So just recently I had somebody rent a property for about $1,900 and I got 10% of that, which was only $190. All right. And then what happens after that is once you get that fee, that commission, your brokerage then takes a percentage out of it. Currently my brokerage split is 70-30, so they're taking 30% out of that 190. So let's do the calculations of how much that is. So I'm getting 190 because I'm getting 10% of the sale or commission of the rental. So it's 190. My brokerage is taking 30%. I'm doing it on my calculator, y'all. Taking 30% of that sale. That's $57 they're taking out of that 190. So you minus $57 of 190. I'm taking home 133. But am I taking home 133? Actually not, because my brokerage has a franchise fee as well. Typically the franchise fee, which I've been noticing in any rental checks, are about $12 as far as when it comes to rentals. When it comes to selling property, it's more than $12. But with rentals, it's about like $11, $12. So I'm actually bringing home $121. And which most people don't realize when it comes to rentals, some of these companies do not pay you until 30 days out, 60 days out. And I have a company that I currently help somebody get a rental in, and they're not paying me until 90 days out. So I'm actually still waiting for my check as we speak. Don't know where it's at. So you will literally have as a realtor, you'll work with people on trying to get them some rentals, and you're not getting paid no money. So I tell people it's so interesting because I get a lot of people that come to me for rentals and they don't realize this, but there's a process. There's a process on both ends. There's a process as a realtor, but it's also a process as a tenant trying to get you through the system to kind of get you into that rental. But I always tell people, that's why I say make sure you come ready with the qualifications. Again, if you have not seen my video, please head over to my video, which I believe is called Qualifications when it comes to renting in Atlanta, Georgia, or in Georgia. Please head over there because those qualifications need to be intact, because if not, you're not only wasting your time, but you're also wasting my time. And we don't want to waste anyone's time. This is a fair exchange. We want to both be in it together, and we want you to win. So we don't want nobody to feel like they're wasting time, because guess what? If you don't close on said rental deal, I don't get the commission. But that's how we get into this part. So because of the commissions being so low and realtors not being able to make, if you don't close on a rental, if you get denied or something happens and you never close, and then you just be like, oh, you know what, I give up or whatever. I'm not going to rent no more. I'm done with it. A lot of realtors have been doing retainer fees now. So a retainer fee is basically a fee that you pay up front to say that you're utilizing my professional services to help you get into the rental. Currently, my retainer fee is $500. I know some people say that is a lot in regards to working with you, but people don't realize that in the rental process, that commission on the other end is so low. It kind of sucks. I hate how they always throw everything onto the customer all the time. The consumer, they're always having to pay the most when the company should be paying more, but the companies don't want to pay nothing, y'all. So in order for me to be able to work and eat the same way you eat and live the same way you live, as far as paying my bills and paying my car notes and paying for gas to drive around and show said properties, and also paying to make sure I have a roof over my head, I have to charge a retainer fee. If not, literally, you guys, I would be broke. I would be broke if I don't charge people a retainer fee. So my retainer fee is $500. Every realtor has a different retainer fee. It's up to that realtor. When I first started doing rentals, I actually didn't charge a retainer fee. However, I realized, and I was doing that because I didn't want people to have to pay their hard-earned money to me. But I realized after a while I couldn't do that no more, because I was taking people around. I had so many rentals in the beginning, and I actually eased off of doing rental clients. So it's very rare. Every now and then I'll take on a rental client. But I am available for rentals, but that retainer fee is $500 up front, just to let you guys know. And it comes with our with our tenant brokerage agreement that you will have to sign, just stating that I helped you get the rental, and you're going to pay the $500 retainer fee as well. So, but yeah, in the beginning I didn't charge it, because what happened is I was like, oh, I don't want to put all the these people that are trying to rent. Usually renters don't have a lot of money, and I understand, because when I rent it, I don't have a lot of money. So I would be like, okay, I'm not going to put that fee on people. However, I realized after a while, working with so many rental leads or clients, that a lot of them weren't closing because maybe credit situations, maybe income situations. And that's the reason why I made that other video on my YouTube channel, because I wanted to kind of detail the criteria, so that way people can make sure that's together before they come over to utilize my services, because I don't want you guys to waste your time. And I don't want you guys also, what I realize is that you get discouraged once you feel like you got denied, and you get a defeatist mentality. So I don't want that to happen. I want everybody to stay in good spirits. I want everybody to get to their ending goals and get to where they want to be at. So that's the reason why I tell people just to get those criteria in place, because we want to make sure everybody is satisfied and get to that ending goal, which is helping you get into a rental. But again, yes, the retainer fees are something that Georgia realtors are charging. I'm not sure if it's in other states. I'm not sure how they kind of conduct their business when it comes to rentals, but a retainer fee has been put in place just because if not, a lot of us would not be making no money, because even the retainer fee that you guys pay us, our brokerage takes a split of that. So I know people are like, well, dag, they're like, they glamorize real estate on TV, you guys. So I'm trying to give you the real in real estate, and this is on the rental end. And then if you guys want more videos like this, I can give you some more real in real estate when it comes to the buyers end or the sellers end, because you guys don't really get to know actual numbers. And so I'm kind of trying to give you numbers. All right. So even the my retainer fee is $500, right? My brokerage still takes 30% of that. So let's do that. So they're taking 30% of, again, I'm using my calculator. They're taking 30% of that. So they're taking $150 out of that $500, my brokerage, right? So I'm not even coming home with $500. So that's $150. So that's $350, right? And then again, I have a franchise fee that I pay as well. So my franchise fee, again, at a higher price point, it's like $350. It's about maybe like $20 franchise fee. So $330. And like I said, also on the other end, the company, let's use Excalibur Homes again, they'll give me the 10%. So that's $330 plus $121, and all with me helping you out to find a reno, with the retainer fee up front and also the commission on the back end from the management company or said brokerage. I made $451 helping you find a rental. And I always tell people, they're like, well, that's a lot, but I'm like, it's really, if you break down real estate, honestly, you guys, and if you break down helping people and being in a situation or a transaction for months or days on end, a lot of realtors are actually making less than a minimum wage. But people don't realize that because, again, they glamorize real estate on TV, social media. They glamorize it. So people are not really telling you guys the real in real estate, and that's the purpose of me doing these videos, all right? So let's get to the next part because I don't want to take too much time. So we talked about retainer fees. Again, I'm looking at my paper. We talked about commissions on rentals in Georgia. Again, the commissions down here are not the best, but it ranges, right? 10%, 15%, 20%, 50%, maybe full month commission, depending on if you have a great real brokerage that wants to give you that. And then also, I myself, if I'm going to work, I usually do not work with owners that are renting their property out because they're not as trustworthy as somebody that I know is either coming through my brokerage or a management company. So I don't always work with owners that are renting their properties out. And then also owners that are renting their properties out, they don't want to co-op with agents, meaning that they don't want to give us any commissions for bringing said clients. So if we did go that way, I would just have to make sure I do my due diligence a little harder for you guys to make sure that person is the rightful owner over said property. And also, you unfortunately would have to pay that retainer fee. Like I said, I charge the retainer fee, so the retainer fee will cover, because in this situation, I won't get a commission, so it won't be nothing coming from the other end. It'll just be that retainer fee. So I would just go home with $330 after my brokerage takes a split and all that stuff. So just be mindful of that, y'all. But I always tell people the best way to go is if you're using a realtor to go to I like to make sure we go through our MLS system, and a lot of management companies do populate our MLS system, and some management companies actually, some of them don't co-op with agents either. So some do, some don't. So it's a lot of tit for tat down here. There's a lot of companies that want to do it their own way. They don't want to pay. People don't realize that a lot of people nowadays don't want to pay real estate agents, but they want our expertise, but they don't want to pay for it. But I'm like, you go to a doctor, you get their expertise. Even if you feel like you don't pay for it, your insurance is paying for it. If you go to a lawyer, you're paying for it. If you go get your car done, you're paying for it. If you go even going to college, you're paying for college, even if it's not coming out your pocket per se. Some people it is. Some people it's coming from student loans, and at the end of the day, you're still paying the student loans back. You're paying for everything basically. So I don't know why people want to go short on realtors when it comes to getting expertise or professionalism. And I get there's a lot of people out there like, oh, realtors, they take your money, they make so much money. Again, you need to be with a good realtor. Everybody in any profession, you guys, there are good people and there are bad people. There are people that are looking to profit. There are people that are looking to do great things and help people out. You just need to make sure you find a great person. It has nothing to do with the people in the profession. It has everything to do with the people. So I think I gave you guys enough. If you want some more information when it comes to renting In the Georgia market, just let me know, hit me below or email me. Also remember, if you guys want to work with me in regards to renting, I do charge a retainer fee of $500 up front. I'm sorry to have to put that on you guys, but unfortunately, like I said, we do not get paid anything to work rentals in Atlanta. So most realtors down here will ask for that retainer fee. You might get lucky. You might get some new realtors that are just coming into the business that are doing rental leads that won't charge no retainer fee. So it's always great to shop around with realtors. I always tell people when it comes to renting or buying, shop around with your realtor, shop around with your mortgage lender when it comes to buying. Always see who's a great fit for you, you know, because everybody works differently. Nonetheless, again, my name is Davon Clark. If you ever need any information or have any real estate questions, you can always reach out to me. My email is below. Have a wonderful day. Take care, y'all.